Welcome to the Investing Bros. Thank you so much for tuning in. Whether you're just waking up, whether you're going to sleep, you're watching this in bed, or you're making lunch for the kiddos as they head out to school, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be talking about Ethereum, Avalanche, Bitcoin, Caspa, and of course, we're going to also be talking about Cardano. And we're actually going to start there. We're going to start taking a look at Cardano, which has ripped. Guys, we've got a nice little breakout here from Cardano. We talked about CNFTs yesterday. Those are, of course, the NFTs on the Cardano blockchain. You can go ahead and take a look at that video. It's back on our channel where I dive deep into the world of CNFTs and do a little bit of research and hopefully deliver a little bit of alpha. And look at this. The very next day, Cardano breaks out of this formation that has been forming since around mid-November, right? So it's a nice little breakout. It's gotten up all the way to 44 cents there for Cardano. So things are moving in the right direction for the Charles Hoskinson community. And boy, do they need a break. Pressure has been mounting in the Cardano community because there's just been a lot of sideways action as other coins have been shooting for the moon. Especially names like Solana, which a lot of folks seem to consider the main competitor to Cardano. All right, well, that's just one chart that we're going to look at today. But I've actually got a clip for you here because, guys, Bitcoin is ripping. We love Cardano, right? But Bitcoin, at the end of the day, has got smiles on faces, and it's putting dollars into people's bank accounts for sure. So let's go ahead and roll this clip and celebrate.
Bitcoin went up today, and I could argue that now it can't even be held in banks. Bitcoin's a strange animal. I will say point blank, I think it's being manipulated up. It was being manipulated the whole time by Sam Bankman-Fried. So please don't assume, therefore, that it's not still being manipulated. And I would sell my Bitcoin right into this rally. And believe me, I had been a believer one time in Bitcoin. Not here, not now. Bitcoin went up today, and I could argue that now.
There you go, guys. So this was brought to me by the Twitter account Watcher.Guru. Justin, Bitcoin is up 82% since Jim Cramer told investors to sell 9 months ago. So if you'd listened to Jim Cramer and you sold all your Bitcoin, you would have lost out big time on one of the biggest rallies across all assets in 2023. You would have really been a loser. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, chances are you've had Bitcoin exposure all the way through. You didn't listen to the fudsters, the naysayers, the negative Nancys, such as Jim Cramer, who are just trying to get to you to shake out your bags, expose your weak hands, so that his buddies on Wall Street can come in and buy your coins cheaper. Well, hopefully you didn't listen to him. Hopefully you pressed on, and you are going to absolutely reap the rewards. Let's take a look here at some salad before we get into our steak. I'm going to look at some more charts here in just a minute, guys. And by the way, go ahead and shout out any charts on the stock side or the crypto side, and we'll take a look at them here before the show's over. So hopefully get those tickers in, because I'm probably going to only do the first 4 or 5. We'll see if we have time for more. Let's take a look here at the salad. This is the economic outlook for Friday. So we want to make sure that we're keeping this under our consideration here. Non-farm payrolls will be coming out 9:30 a.m. along with the unemployment rate. And then also the Michigan consumer sentiment prequel will be on 11 a.m. on Friday as well. So that is all well and good. We'll be keeping our eyes on that because why do we do that? Because that's going to affect the equity markets. If that comes out and spooks the market, that could send equities lower and could potentially stunt the growth of crypto. Now, but with the insane rally that we've seen with Bitcoin, it could also do the opposite. It could actually serve Bitcoin could actually serve as a safe haven away from a dump in equities. So we'll be seeing that. We'll be seeing what actually ends up happening. If those numbers beat and they're favorable, likely equities, could go higher, could go sideways, right? We shall see. But that's going to be your economic outlook. Guys, I'm switching gears a little bit today. Instead of like a ton of news, I've actually found a bunch of interesting tweets that I wanted to bring to your attention, and we'll get to those in just a few minutes. But first, I want to go ahead and check out Cardano, the Cardano chart, and take a look a little deeper at it and expose kind of what's been going on in this pump. As you can see here, the price for Cardano on the daily chart has actually moved up and exceeded the upper band of the Bollinger Band. Let's see, we haven't really significantly done this since back here in early November, November 6th, when we had this very, very nice run up. We've essentially been sideways since we got up to that 35-cent mark, right? We've been ranging from there to 40 cents, right? Kind of diddling right on the midline of this Bollinger Band, using that as support. And only now have we been able to rocket higher, breaking this downtrending line of support. It's very nice to see, and it is very, very good to see a move higher for Cardano. So should be a lot of excitement in the Cardano ecosystem today. Do you take profits is the question. You're going to have to answer that yourself, right? I'm certainly not. The Cardano that I have for the long haul. So that is going to be my answer. But if you're trading Cardano, you may have a different conclusion. I will point out that the MACD on the daily chart is showing this bull cross. We brought it to your attention late last week, and here it is. We had this bull cross, and also you're getting a very stark and sudden acceleration in those green histograms, especially today's, right? So this could spell a bigger move higher. The Ichimoku is going. It's not in the bullish zone, I will point out, right? So the bears could still kind of get their foot in the door and bring this price lower if they really wanted to. But ultimately, you do see that it is curving upward, up towards getting into that zone, right? So it's a very interesting move there for Cardano, and of course, it's one to celebrate for the moment. You got to take the wins when they come. Kaspa, on the other hand, it has broken out of the downsending line of support, similar to Cardano, although the timeline would be actually about the same. So Kaspa breaking out on December 1st. Right here you can see. This is a 4-hour chart, though. Let me go to the daily so we can get a fair comparison. Comparing Kaspa to Cardano? What is going on here? Yeah. December 1st was the breakout time, and then Cardano, that candle really was December 2nd. Okay. So getting that breakout and that move higher, and then a confirmation of some bullishness with this candlestick for today is very nice. And what I'm really looking for Cardano is, honestly, I want to see this candlestick close higher than 45 cents today, right? That would show to me that this is ready to break higher in a significant fashion, right? Because if we zoom out, if we go out to the weekly chart and really get a good idea of where we are, you can see that ain't nothing really been proven yet. It's been nice for Cardano. It's been nice to get up above that Bollinger Band, see some bullish pressure, but there's a lot of other altcoins that are shooting higher today, right? It's not just Cardano. And it needs to break through this line of resistance at 45 cents, or else, it's just going to probably come back down, test lower, right? Or just go sideways. But a breakthrough 45 cents would be huge, obviously. We're very excited for that. That could be very big. That could be very explosive. And that could bring a lot more liquidity to the market, a lot more buying pressure, a lot more folks saying, hey, this is now, it has legs. Now Cardano is ready to move. Still not going to be that huge bull market move that you'd expect. It's not going to be, putting in a 20, 40% day quite yet. That's going to more than likely be post-halving, right? But in all of this fervor for Bitcoin, you could see some profit taking in the king of crypto over here as it makes its move higher. You could see some profit taking, a move sideways, and maybe even a move lower, down maybe to 37. And then that's when you could see a rotation into the altcoins, right? And the question of the day is, are altcoins going to pump today, right? And I'm going to make the argument that some are. Some will. I'll go ahead and jump to the conclusion. So there you go. By the way, Bitcoin doing real well. I'm out here on the weekly chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart for Bitcoin, and then I will turn to the chat to see what kind of awesome action we've got going on there. Wow, look at this regression line that I have on the chart as happenstance, providing pretty good rejection here, pretty good resistance level for Bitcoin. That's really interesting. So this candlestick eclipsed it quite well, went up above it quite a bit, but then this candlestick that we're currently in here on the daily chart is actually forming pretty good resistance. Now, I will say that I drew this one as happenstance. I probably should delete that regression that was back from mid to late November. But ultimately, it is providing a little bit of guidance today of where Bitcoin might go. So, the big question in crypto right now is can Bitcoin go higher? Can it push higher? It got up to $45,000 on Coinbase, which let's freaking go. I don't think anybody saw this coming just 2 months ago. I think people were thinking we're going to be in the doldrums until the halving. Well, that narrative has changed, right? Bitcoin literally hit $45,000 yesterday on Coinbase. It didn't hit that on other exchanges, I will point out, right? But things are looking good for the king of crypto. Now the question is, can Bitcoin start? I'm going to go down to the 4-hour. Can Bitcoin start to trade sideways a little bit? Which so far it's showing that it can. That's what it's wanting to do. Can it trade sideways a little bit and give the altcoins some love? Because here's what you may not understand as a noob. What does trading sideways mean for Bitcoin? It means that there's no new dollars, right, pushing the price higher, bidding the price higher. See, it went higher here with this wick, right? But right now, it sold all the way off. People took profits on that move higher, and now it's just traded sideways. Even went lower, and then now it's trading sideways. Now, some folks are going to say this is a bull flag, and actually it is, right? It's a bull flag, but ultimately there's a lot that could happen here. Bitcoin could break lower because it's been on a parabolic move higher, right? So it could take a breather. And it could actually say, well, yeah, this is a bull flag, but we need to go ahead and take a breather and let the alts pump, right? So that's kind of the question. Is that going to take place or not? And we're going to try to answer that here in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and turn our attention over to the chat. So I am seeing GS saying, good morning to Indie Rock Crypto. You got to love it. It's a community here, baby. Indie Rock Crypto said crazy that the bearish divvy turned into a hidden bully div on the 4-hour. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Things are getting crazy. Meek Vision said ADA native tokens are exploding, bros. Oh, man, we might have to take a look at those. See, that is something that I've been thinking. I was actually talking about this yesterday in Bro Time. I was talking about this with some of the bros, is that it kind of occurred to me that because Cardano is known for kind of being late to the game of the bull run, being late, but then when it hits big, right? And it'll put up 30, 40, 50% in a day to the upside. And now that there's a lot more, well-known tokens, so I'm Tap Tools. Now that there's a lot more well-known tokens that are, what are they called? Native tokens on Cardano. These could really skyrocket. I'm seeing, over 24 hours, I'm seeing a couple that are doing really well. Let's see, IAG, cloud services provider, so that's doing pretty well. SNEC, the meme coin, doing pretty well. I wouldn't say that all of them are skyrocketing. Milk, the DEX coin, up 5%. That's nice. Okay, Hunt. So this is one that I've actually been wanting to buy. This is one that I've been trying to find an entry for. Obviously, today's not going to be the day for that. But, yeah, Dex Hunter is apparently it's really, really good. I've seen it used. ADA Ace was showing me that. But, yeah, so ultimately a lot of bullishness here in the altcoins. Of course, that is what we're going to expect. But how much more? Could there be a proper pump? Or is this just going to be sprinkling of a little bit of bullish fairy dust? Let's continue on here with the chat. I'm seeing XRP getting shouted out. That's one we'll take a look at. ADA at 44, Bitcoin at 44, ADA at $1, Bitcoin at 100,000, said Eric Wallen. Seeing some fractals here, seeing some equal comparisons for two of the biggest cryptos that exist. Tlock Eyes, T-Lock Eyes, ADA behavior is slow and parabolic. In the end, we'll win the race. All right, so we've definitely got some love for Cardano in the chat. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Smash the likes, guys. Smash them if you are bullish on Cardano. And If you are getting some value out of this video so far, make sure that you consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel for you to subscribe. And guys, look, there's a lot of other YouTube channels out there. I get it. But we go live every single morning. Tim, he's already got his TA video out. You can go and check that out. I encourage you to. He's talking about a story with Gary Gensler that's very exciting and very interesting. Okay? But then also, I put out a video every single morning at 9 a.m., right? I go live at 9 a.m., and you can come in and you can shout out new tokens that you want me to take a look at. And all you got to do is subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let's see, ADA, baby. So we've already looked at ADA. I'll probably circle back to it before the end of the stream. Caspa, I'm seeing shouted out. Got to do Caspa. Love it. And Arsan saying hola. Love to see it. Love to see it. Megatron said GM, good morning. Crypto Mini Bike also saying good morning. Bedridden said W. Okay. And Bedridden also said, hey, Amello. Mellow Fellow said, ADA, so you got to be feeling good today. Absolutely. And he is. ADA Ace. Very excited this morning. I know that he's been really getting deep into the leverage trades for Cardano, so he's probably doing real well. All right. So let's go ahead. We've got a couple of tokens to take a look at here a little bit later on. Those are going to be Caspa and XRP. So let me know if there are any more that you want me to take a look at. All right. And then also, I think Pepe is being shouted out by the one, the only Army Piper. So we'll also take a look at Pepe. And I think that's the title of his video today, which is going to be live at 9:30 a.m., which, by the way, we are cruising very quickly towards that. So let's go ahead and get into some of the tweets here I wanted to highlight for you guys. Well, the Wolf of All Streets said, buy high, sell higher also works. Of course, a nod to the trope in investing. Buy low, sell high. You know, in crypto, and specifically with Bitcoin right now, it sometimes gets to a market where you have to buy high and sell higher, right? So it's technically still buying low and selling high, but it does feel a lot more risky because it is. You know, you never want to usually you don't want to buy an asset as it's shooting up. You want to already have been in it and then sell higher. But in crypto, sometimes when the bull market starts to show its head, right, prices shoot up, and if you're not in it, sometimes you got to buy it in order to get exposure at all. One of the names that comes to mind with that is Ordi, O-R-D-I, right, and that's an ordinals coin, O-R-D-I, and this coin has just shot up every single day throughout its life so far. It hasn't been out super long. I guess it's been out longer than I thought. It's been out since June. Right, but all through November, it gave you a nice little pullback here towards the end of November, and it has just been absolutely crazy. Well, today you're getting not too bad of a pullback. So it was up to $61, and this is the point that I think is made. So people will probably think, like I even was taking a look at the Ordi charts yesterday. I'm like, should I just go ahead and get some exposure? I don't have any exposure. Today, you have a much better entry point if you wanted to get some Ordi. Okay, so I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just saying today is a much better entry point than yesterday. So just cut and dry. How long that'll last, I'm not sure. But as Bitcoin kind of slows down and moves sideways, and as I'm saying that, Bitcoin pumps a little higher, you're going to have some more opportunities in the altcoins for them to move higher. All right, only 30 days away before the approval window opens for Bitcoin spot ETF. So I'm not exactly sure how he's doing his math here, Crypto Rover, but you can take a look here. January 10th is the first final deadline, but according to my calculations, that's 34 days away. So let me know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm not exactly sure how he's doing his math. Let me know in the comments. Is it 30 days away, or is it 34 days away? Because if it's the 6th today, when I'm going live on this video and when he posted this tweet, wouldn't that mean that January 10th is 34 days away? I don't know. I'm not the best at math, guys, but I think that this is a little bit off. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe he wants some engagement, people to call him out Yeah, Crypto Rover, awesome, awesome account. That's why I'm bringing him to you guys' attention. I would never shout out stuff that I don't think is useful, but I think he may have gotten confused on this or I'm misinterpreting it. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know in the chat what is going on here. Either way, it's very bullish because we are approaching that ETF window of which I think it is going to get approved. All right, let's keep moving here. Key metrics show, and this is going to try to get us closer to the answer of the question of the day, which is, are altcoins going to pump? Right? Is this going to be that little mini, almost a nano altcoin season? Here we go. Let's get into it. Key metrics show crypto traders turning to Ether from Bitcoin. Okay, so CME futures show money is starting to flow into Ether at a faster pace than Bitcoin. Let's get into the details. The chasm could narrow as money is now flowing into Ether futures faster than Bitcoin. What chasm is being referred to here? Well, we took a look at it. Let's get off the 4-hour, go back out to the weekly, and I will show you exactly what chasm is being referred to here. So let's actually go out to the monthly. So if you take a look here at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is quite a bit off of the midline of the Bollinger Band. That's what I'm going to be using as a kind of a reference point to gauge the proximity and the potential for a move higher for Ethereum based on how Bitcoin has moved in the last 3 months. So you can see back in September, Bitcoin rocketed through that Bollinger Band after a failed test higher, a breaking back through it, and then rocketed higher, right? Okay, tracking with me. Then it printed another green candlestick, tapping up the upper band of the Bollinger Band, and now it has rocketed through that upper band of the Bollinger Band. Sometimes that can be unsustainable, right? However, you're starting to see that Bollinger Band start to compensate even out on the monthly, and as it expands and widens, that means that the Bollinger Band is predicting essentially higher potential, more volatility. And when the price action is on the north side of the midline of the Bollinger Band, that volatility usually indicates upward movement. So there you have it, right? And that is, but notice the important part here is notice the proximity to the upper line of the Bollinger Band. That's what's important. Going over to the monthly on Ethereum, you can see that that has not yet happened. It has moved with Bitcoin, right? It sliced through that midline of the Bollinger Band. It didn't have all this testing going on back here. It got rejected twice, went lower, reloaded, and then made a move higher, ended up slicing through, printing of that intermediate green candle, and now is testing to try and get up above. Now, on the lower time frames, you can see that it has sliced through that upper band, right? But if you take a look at another altcoin, Chainlink, it has already done that, and the Bollinger Bands have already started to compensate and predict more volatility for Chainlink, right? As those widening lines for the Bollinger Band, the upper and the lower, go ahead and tell the tale of what's to come. All right, so that is the important chasm, the chasm, if you will. I don't know how you pronounce it. Maybe you pronounce it chasm. Maybe you pronounce it chasm. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. How do you pronounce this word here? Let's get back to the details. The chasm could narrow as money is now flowing into the Ethereum futures faster than Bitcoin. The notional open interest on dollar value locked in Chicago Mercantile Exchange's cash-settled Ether futures contract has increased by 30% to $711 million in the past 5 days, beating Bitcoin's 19% growth to $4.9 billion, right? So money starting to flow a little more strongly to Ethereum than to Bitcoin, right? So this is a specific chasm that is being pointed out here over in the futures contracts of the existing ETFs for both Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Kind of showing that difference. What I'm pointing out is a different chasm, right? But similar in that it's the proximity to the Bollinger Bands. Ethereum just has more room to run, to go here and catch up with the progress that Bitcoin has made and that other altcoins like Chainlink has made, right? So that's really what I'm saying. And I do think that that indicates that there is a pump coming for altcoins. And how do we know what is going to be that green flag? What is going to be that green light for altcoins, for Ethereum mainly, the king of altcoins, to pump higher? It's going to be continued sideways movement for Bitcoin, not on the monthly. It's not going to happen on the monthly, but on these lower time frames. I'm here on the 4-hour for Bitcoin to continue to move sideways, right? Sideways and down. So right now, we're seeing a pretty robust candlestick here from Bitcoin. you're not really seeing the MACD lines showing signs of letting up. The green histograms are hinting that Bitcoin is slowing down with the deceleration right there, right? But I don't know that traders are going to be convinced. I think we're still seeing a lot of bullishness in the market, and I think there could be the chance that buying pressure is not over yet. That would be, before I look at the Ichimoku, that would be indicated with the fact that this could be interpreted as a bull flag. Tim and Piper will be going much more in depth on this, I'm sure, here in 4 minutes, right, on whether or not this is a bull flag for Bitcoin, right? Well, it is a bull flag for Bitcoin, whether or not it's going to break out to the upside after it's done it once and then twice, right? The Ichimoku, we took a look at it. It has actually left on the 4 hour. It's left that bullish zone up top. Let's check it out on the 1 day. It has not even entered it yet, right? So there's some conflicting indicatorship here going on that is causing essentially what could be a false start for altcoin pump, right? But ultimately, we're going to keep our eyes on Bitcoin to determine whether or not altcoins are going to pump as a whole. And specifically, I'm kind of eyeing Ethereum, right? That's the one for me that I'm trying to trade actively. Trade actively to try to capitalize on this pause in Bitcoin's upward momentum. But what I'm seeing is that may be on delay in the first few minutes of the New York Open, which will be at 9:30. We're going to see how that really comes into confirmation, because there'll be a lot more volume once the market opens, and there will be a lot more agreement on where the price for Bitcoin should go. All right, well, it doesn't stop there, guys. We've got a couple more stories here. Nothing too crazy, but Avalanche enters top 10 after 105% growth sprint. So very, very cool for Avalanche. That's basically the story. And then the SEC demands spot Bitcoin ETF kill switch, what experts have uncovered. So if you go over and watch Tim's TA this morning, he already put the video out. You can go watch it right now. He covers that story in depth and explains to you what is meant by an ETF kill switch. It is interesting. It is something you need to know. One more thing, Moody's downgrades Hong Kong rating outlook to negative. Not good at all for Hong Kong. This comes after they've also downgraded China. We got to take a look at the XRP charts on the way out here. We already took a look at the Kaspa charts. Was there any more recommendations? Pepe. I'm going to leave it to Piper to take a look at Pepe because I'm sure he's got a lot more to say about it. Taking a look at XRP here. Yeah, so I'm on the weekly chart. Let's go a little further in here. That's why it was looking strange to me. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's doing a lot more sideways movement here than maybe you would have expected. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. XRP to me is not something that I'm as excited about as I was about a month ago, right? To me, it's showing a little bit of a failure to launch. As you can see, it's only up 0.7% today. I'm not saying that XRP isn't going to do well, right? All I'm saying is that XRP to me, right, it was huge that it won that Ripple won its case this year with the SEC that came out very bullish, right? There is still a few more shoes to fall on the Ripple v. SEC situation, right? The continuing legal battle. But ultimately, guys, I haven't been impressed with the price movement for XRP relative to other coins especially, right? So I need to see more movement from XRP before I'm going to deploy. That's just the way that I'm thinking about XRP. There's so many other great projects out there, and I have to imagine that there's many other XRP traders, investors who are thinking the same thing. Like, well, what about this Kaspa coin? Well, Cardano's starting to pump. What about Matic? Matic's still under its dynamic reactor. It has more room to go. What about freaking Bitcoin? What about Ethereum? Like, there's just so many other options that are bullish. XRP will have its day, guys. If you're a big investor in XRP, you will have your day. It will be rewarded. But right now, I don't see it. I'm not seeing the bullishness, right? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Make sure you go ahead and watch Tim's video from today where he goes and talks about that kill switch for the Bitcoin spot ETFs. And also, right now, Army Piper is firing up his live stream to talk about Pepe, the entire stream. Just kidding. I'm sure he's going to be doing a lot more. I'm glad we were able to get to the coins that you guys shouted out. We'll be doing this, again, 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'll see you there. Have a safe rest of your day. Make sure you get your stop losses in. Make sure you stay hydrated, baby, in these very bullish markets. We'll see you later.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.